Justin, a little birdie told me that you and I got the chance to play Neon White on the PS5.
Yeah, a little birdie did. In fact, a little birdie just sent me a code and said happy birthday. And I was like, well, it's technically my half
It's your
birthday
half
in a few
birthday.
days. And
Yeah.
I had no idea what game this is going to be. Like, I was like, what could this possibly be? Like, what is it going to be? And I downloaded it was Neon White. And I was like, oh, wait, that's not out already on the PS5? And turns out it's not.
No, they just announced it recently that it'll be coming out, and I think by the time you're listening to this, you are able to pick it up if you have not already on PC or Switch. Neon White though on the PS5, Justin, you had not played the game up until this point, is that right?
Nope.
How much did you play, and what did you think?
I got to like the second world through the second world area, I guess the grouping of worlds. What are the
So you did like the first chapter,
and then the
and
second
then you had
one.
like the time to like hang out with everyone, and then you did the second
and then I
one.
did the second chapter, yeah. But that means I still put in about 2.5 to 3 hours in it.
I was gonna say that's a good chunk of it.
And I gotta say, thank God you gave me a PS5 code, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my goal was going to be play this on the Switch near the end of the year. And let me
Dude.
tell you one thing, friends. Like, I'm gonna give you one bit of advice. Do not play this game on the Nintendo Switch, no matter what you do, because this game is probably nearly unplayable on the Nintendo Switch, and I think it would have caused me more frustration than joy. So you've played this already on the PC, right?
I did.
And
Loved
you beat it, and you loved it, and you were talking
Yep.
about it, and you were saying it's just kind of like these time trials with this like visual novel, and I was like, okay, you have me at visual novel. The time trial things I'm not quite feeling. So I started playing, and because you had played the levels like before me, you all of your times were like significantly better than me. Like, and the first level I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I understand that you're
Yeah.
gonna be better than me on this first level. But then the second one, it was like maybe like 20 seconds faster. And I was like, okay, like, am I doing something wrong here? And it just kept being one of those things where it was comically different with the times. And I was like, I'm missing something. So I went through the first set of levels and I just kind of played them like to the end to get to the goal, shooting the demons, getting to the end. And then basically there was like this roadblock, and it's like you have to get a certain like what neon score or something like that, a neon rank,
Yeah, something like that.
in order to go forward. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm replaying these levels. But then what I didn't realize is when you beat the level for the first time, you start unlocking these other things to it. These ability to see where the hidden gift is that you can collect in each level. That's kind of like a hide and seek. Like here's a special gift that you have to find out how to get to. But they also tell you like an optimal path to go. There's
Yeah.
a little thing that you do that kind of shows you like some of the shortcuts in the level. And then there's all these like basically like speed running shortcuts that you can do, like jumping off the side of the map and stuff like that, just to like really like make yourself go faster and get a better time. And then all of a sudden your times made sense. And then all of a sudden the gameplay loop hit me, of it being like, oh shit, I got to get the best time possible on all this stuff, and I got to get the top rank for all this stuff, then I got to get gift for all this stuff, and I got to find the best way to do it for all this stuff. So
Yeah.
then it starts hitting with me, and then I get it. And if I were just to play this game on the finish a level on its first try, fine for the Nintendo Switch. But some of the stuff they make you do to get these like platinum tier badges on it are pretty freaking rough. And require like
Yeah.
very specific timing and very specific aiming and very specific stuff that the Switch would not give you. But I gotta say, it's a fun little game. The story is really kind of weirdly intriguing and odd.
Yeah.
I think I said this when you were talking about it. It reminds me a lot of Paradise Killer.
Yeah.
That I played earlier in terms of the vibe of everything. I think ultimately, if I'm comparing the two of those games, and they're not the same, by the way,
At
they're
all,
not.
right?
Yeah. If the thing I liked about Paradise Killer was you had a direct impact on the story.
Sure.
What you found impacted what happened at the end of the game. And you could theoretically like do a trial at the beginning of the game, get it wrong, and then have a bad ending if you wanted to. And
Yeah.
that was kind of like up to you. And I also liked how it was a lot more of like free exploring rather than individual maps. But I think this specific game, with it being small maps and being like really like bite size, like, 30 seconds, maybe sometimes 2 minutes at the most, little like maps to go through. It really is focused a lot more on the traversal of those, and is really kind of like I don't know. It's really well designed with how they go about making you want to replay these.
And that's the thing. I think that it like dangles enough in front of you to be like, okay, you did it, the regular way once. And then you look at the times and like, it's what happened with you is what happened with me. I was like, how are people doing this so fast? Like, what are they doing? And then you go back and you see the little shortcut and you go, okay. And for me, like, in revisiting, I just played through the first world and then was like, oh yeah, this is that game, right? And I've got some thoughts on the differences a little bit, but it's not that I necessarily remembered exactly what to do in every single level of the first world, but it was one of those things where I remembered the strategies in general of like, oh, there's no enemies over here, but it's making me run through this. No way, not a chance. Or there's one enemy. No, I'll shoot him through the window as I'm jumping down. You know what I mean? Skipping this whole section here. I will say, I had the number 1 spot for all of the levels in the whole world out of 4 people. So, yeah, I don't mean to brag, but they call me Speeder. Oh, Speeder.
Yeah, Speeder. I thought that's what you were going for. I was like, that's perfect. You got it in 1.
Yeah, but is this something you're going to stick with, or is this something nice to try, but not really your thing?
Yeah, I think I will finish it. My personal problem is I wish this was a game I could play on the Switch because I'm just much more of a like not sitting at my TV kind of person to play stuff. I'm fortunate that right now because of God of War I do have my PlayStation on my main TV and not on my desk computer here. So
yeah,
it's easy to pick up and play. That's the thing about it. It's pretty easy to just today I'm ready to do some speed runs. Today I'm ready to progress the story. Today I'm ready to talk to my friends and give them weird creepy gifts. So overall, though, like my question about the story, how does the story progress?
People have their issues with the story, and like I get it. It's cringy, and the characters are like cringy, but like I know this doesn't necessarily help, but does that not feel like that's the point?
Oh, absolutely.
like the game knows that they're
horrific, just like stereotypes, like not like of like tropes of characters.
Yeah, but as it goes, you sort of understand like more about who they are and how they're connected to you and what your life was like before. And there's some good drama in it, and I think that it is a pretty story light game, and I do. But where I think it goes with it, I think is warranted and earned and stuff like that. Especially towards the end, as the levels get crazier and the story sort of follows suit.
Yeah,
if that
I
makes
just
sense.
look at it. It's a nice little just breath in between the levels, like that.
Yeah.
It just changes up the gameplay just enough that it makes. It's a good breather between stuff. And I think that just makes it infinitely more playable and you don't get burnt out on the time trials because that's not something I personally would want to do for like an hour straight of just time trials and improving my times. But having that breath to be like, all right, I'm going to talk to this cutesy serial killer girl for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or this like overly happy, beer drinking guy for a little bit. Dude, bro. Yeah.
Well, because like that's the thing too. Like that at the end of a chapter, like you're gonna get like kicked back out into the like hub where you're gonna be able to talk to everyone, and then like in the middle of the chapter you're gonna get another little bit of story. So it's just that nice like breather of like, hey, take a break.
Yep.
Think about this for a minute, and then we're gonna get back to just going fucking nuts on these levels. Like
yeah.
I think it's a pretty good PS5 port too. It's uses the controller really well. I thought each of the guns feels unique in terms of like how it feels like pull the trigger back. It uses the 3D audio, the audio coming out of the DualSense to like, that's where the sound effect for the gun comes out of. And I really like that. And then it has a little bit of aim assist that isn't on the PC. So like when you target at an enemy, there's like a big like lock-on circle around them. And that's not on the PC version because it's just requires a little bit more accuracy. I assume that's probably on the Switch one too. But I think the problem with it is that it you can move so quickly and precisely with a mouse, and you can't really do that with a thumbstick. You know what I mean? Like you can turn your head 180 degrees, shoot something, and then turn back within a second or two on a mouse and keyboard, but on a controller, like, you know, your sensitivity is going to be like crazy if you do it like that. So I would be curious to see how it goes as the levels get harder and more difficult and stuff. But
yeah, I did also like the controls because they did a really good job of not making you take your fingers off the jump button and stuff. Like it just works pretty well.
It's one of those things where like all of the control, like all of the action buttons are mapped to left trigger, left bumper, right bumper, so that you do not ever have to take your thumbs off of the sticks, so that like you can always be moving and always be looking where you need to be looking. Which is, I don't know, I thought that's cool.
Yeah.
But Neon White. It's on PlayStation 5 and PS4. I think we're just waiting for it on Xbox now. But damn, is it a good game that I really, 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 really like.